So who wants to be a future global leader? Shall I tell you something? You are very, very unique here. Because you asked this to Joe Blogs our age in the street, and we live in a world of complacency. A lot of people think it's the responsibility of others to make a difference. So congratulations for that to start with. Now, second show of hands. Who here was born since 1984? Good show of hands, that's good. Do you want to harness the power of youth to make the world a better place? Show of hands, please. Right, well, I'm very pleased to say that this is exactly your opportunity to do that. Introducing One Young World, what we're doing is creating the world's largest youth leadership summit that AIESEC is now a partner of. We're bringing together 1,500 young leaders from 192 countries around the world to a summit in London in February 2010, where these young leaders will have a voice over the biggest issues ahead of our generation, and have that voice then spread to some of the world's major organisations around the world. It gives young people a global platform to have their voices heard. Now, don't let me do this for you. Let's hit some of our councillors in this introduction video, and I'll carry on from there.
Hello, YouTube.
One Young World is looking for the leaders of tomorrow.
I believe I can make a difference. It's not going to be easy, but if we don't try, who will?
I think our leaders today don't really know what our generation feels. I want to have a voice and tell them, and I want them to listen.
So you have this great sort of intellectual capacity being contained in one space and being listened to.
We can't change history. We can't bank on tomorrow. So today I've decided not to ignore my future.
If we don't do something now, it will be too late. It's down to us to make a difference.
They'll be changing the world. Could it be you?
So upload a video telling us why you're a future leader of tomorrow.
I hope that young people everywhere and the delegates of One Young World, those who will inherit this planet, will join us as partners.
I want to see what happens when a whole generation comes together.
Sign up now and shape the future.
I've had the honour of being involved with One Young World for about the last year, and I've seen it grow and develop into what it is now. It's attracted some of the major world leaders, people like Kofi Annan, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Bob Geldof, among others, and there as councillors. We've got existing world leaders and business leaders and political leaders coming as councillors to listen to the voice of the next generation, 1,500 of them, and take that voice back to the major institutions out there, such as the G20, as a response to Copenhagen and things like that. So our councillors, we've got people like Nick Haysom, who's head of politics for the UN, who's going to be spreading the messages of One Young World back to the UN. There's the CEO of EMI talking on business and engaging with young people on business. So what's happening with One Young World is these 1,500 people are gathering in London in February 2010, February the 8th to 10th, 2010. And what they will do is engage with 192 countries, 1,500 people. And for the first time ever in the history of the planet, will this be weighted according to the population of the planet. So each country gets their quota depending on the size of the country. 6 topics we're discussing in the world. Firstly being the environment, which we've got Kofi Annan as a chair. We've then got politics with Nick Haysom, who's head of politics with the UN as a chair. Interfaith dialogue with Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Business, then healthcare, and media. And for each of these 6 plenary sessions, there's going to be resolutions presented, which will be fed by various people. For example, Bob Geldof is feeding these resolutions back to the G2, the G8, the G20. So it's going to be, if you like, an official youth response to some of the biggest challenges ahead of us. And I really today would like as many of you here to participate in this as possible. We've got Kofi Annan, as I say, having the official response to Copenhagen. Also, I'm very pleased to say that the founders of One Young World have recognised the strength of this partnership with AIESEC. And what they're doing is guaranteeing one place, at least one place, for an AIESEC member from every country delegation. So all from every country in the world that AIESEC has a presence, we'll keep one place at the One Young World Summit. So what we're really trying to do, I'm working with Aman and the rest of the team to really get the AIESEC voice heard at One Young World and really use One Young World as a tool to have to present some of the great work we're doing, for example with the HIV/AIDS research we did, to really present that to the existing channels of leadership. This is our partner page, look at that, AIESEC fresh up there. So I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm a big fan of AIESEC. I'm absolutely thrilled to have AIESEC as a partner. To me, I don't think there's a better organisation on the planet that expresses the voice of young leaders in so many countries. And I'm absolutely honoured and thrilled to be here presenting this to you. So, the AIESEC partnership, one person from every country in the world. Now, could that be you? Do you want to have your voice heard? Do you want to participate in something like this? So if you want to join, take a note of this link, apps.facebook.com/101candidates, because you're going to get an email sent to you with an invitation with some more information. And I think Aman is going to speak a bit more about the partnership. But just to finish, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm going to be here, I'm supposed to be going home tomorrow, but I'm thinking about extending my flight, so I'm having too much fun. As I said yesterday, it was a brilliant quote, one of my favourite quotes from Gandhi, saying, live the change you want to see in the world. To me, I think One Young World is one of the most powerful ways that I can do that, and I really invite you to join me. I'm going to be a delegate there. I really invite you to join me and stand as a delegate yourself, and you can represent both your generation and your country in this really unique initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucian. You know, one thing which I was saying yesterday, I said it in the morning, and perhaps, we might not realize the magnitude of this, but this is a big testament to the fact that there is no reason why, as AIESEC, we need to underestimate what we can do and what we can get. So, try to imagine this. We've been trying, in some ways, and really unsuccessfully, to try and get to the World Economic Forum, and there was some hope that, we will get there and someone will invite us and perhaps we might get a chance to show ourselves and so on. And trying to get on a trend which was started a few years back. It's after a while that as an organization, AIESEC is part of a trend when it is starting. We are part of the world's largest student congregation which will happen next year, the most diverse one, with representation from countries where we are not present in. A chance to have millions of people. And when I say millions, I do mean millions of people around the world actually see what we do. We'll be there, and we are, by the way, the only youth organization to be the premier partner of One Young World. This is a chance for us to take up what we discussed yesterday, the output which will come out of the Youth to Business Summit, the discussions we'll have here on. Those are the things which we will take to this event. I will be there for sure, talking about what we discussed yesterday instead, and speak to all 1,500 people in a session and saying this is what AIESEC is, this is what we can do. And hopefully there will be about 100 AIESEC members there. And that in itself is the biggest presence we can have. This is a fantastic opportunity to create the impact we want to influence the policy makers, to get that global stage, which we should deserve, but more importantly, are being proactive in getting, rather than hoping that someone will come to us with this on a platter. In the subsequent days after this conference gets over, AIESEC International will send across some information on this, so look out for it on AIESEC.net, and we'll send it out in a couple of days, newsletters as well, how to I again encourage you to never ever underestimate what we can do as an organization and how much